Ellis was like scaffolding when we started touring. Henry was a delivery driver. Joshy was working at a cafe. Hester was making like jewelry for the family business. I was working on like mainly like commercial shoots, like doing like wardrobe assistant stuff. It's so random that we are where we are now.
Hi, I'm Yasi Salek, host of the podcast Bandsplain. I'm here with Rhian Teasdale, the icon frontwoman of Billboard.
Hi.
I was in your wet dream, driving in my car. Saw you at the side of the road. There's no one else.
I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm so excited to talk to you.
This is like self-serving, but I just recently started lifting weights and I was like, gorgeous. I'm gonna need to talk to Rhian and get some tips, some tips and tricks. I'm like, need to talk to her about protein intake. I need to know like where she's landing on creatine. Like these are important questions. And I was like, you seem like a bit of an expert.
I don't know. I do my best. It's really hard on tour with like the whole protein intake thing. Like you do kind of get a bit crazy about it, and like it is just so hard to to eat well on tour.
I just recently did a very deep dive into the life and career of Alanis Morissette. Her ascent was so fast, right? It was like 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds with that first album. You guys had a pretty psychotic, also like overnight blow up.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like it's like completely changed the trajectory of like everyone's lives. It's so random that we are where we are now. But I do feel like lucky that I have the perspective of working a lot of jobs before getting to do this. Otherwise, I think I would find it quite overwhelming if I'm having like a bad day and then like I have to like get on stage and like, entertain. I just feel having the perspective of having worked like so many shitty jobs, well, actually, it's really not that bad, is it? And whilst it's like my like fifth gig in a row, like it's it's people in the audience, it's their first time seeing these songs, and I think that's really special to get to sap all of their energy.
What kind of shows were on the Isle of Wight? What was going down?
Yeah, there weren't many shows on the Isle of Wight. Some friends started this thing called Ventnor Fringe Festival, and so every summer they'd like bring over artists and like curate their own like little festival lineup. Of course, growing up, I had the Isle of Wight Festival and Festival, so I was more of like a festival goer from the age of like 14, 15. Festivals kind of just really solidified in my brain this like need to be around music.
Are there some buried photos of you wearing a flower crown?
No, I was too cool for that.
Okay, well, excuse me. Just trying
Apparently,
to.
like Flower Crown was too far, but there are definitely photos of me in like sequins.
Moisturizer is incredible. I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing you. I genuinely pretty obsessed with it. I've been listening to it a lot. I'm most struck on this album by the self-possession and the confidence in the delivery of the music, but especially in the lyrics. Do you feel like that's something that you've noticed too, that like you've gained more of since the last album?
Like yes and no. Definitely when I look back at the first album and I listen to the first album, I'm just like taken back to, just how it felt to walk into, like a studio environment for the first time and just how out of place I felt there. I've definitely like come a long way from, that moment in time. It's a very different experience making a second album when now, suddenly, people are expecting something. People have like got a relationship with the first album and like, you know, so there's those kind of pressures.
The cover of the album, might I say, super creepy. Was this sort of like the intention of the cover? And was there like artwork before this maybe that didn't make the cut that was like even creepier?
I don't know, it's so funny. I feel like a lot of our visual stuff kind of comes out of having the time and space to just like be together and try things out. With the cover, that started out from us just going away together on a kind of like residential trip to take photos. So we're like, cool, we'll like go away, we'll have a play, we'll like rent this like holiday home. And from that, I can show you like the original idea, literally like the spawn of the album cover. I don't know, it just came from this one kind of pose and yeah, just kind of expanded from there and morphed into, like what it is.
Well, okay, kind of in that same vein, I heard through the gossip grapevine that you guys watched loads of horror movies together when you were making this album. I'm not a horror movie girly, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little scared and it's a bit difficult for me. What were the best ones you watched? I'm going to take your advice on what to watch. And like, did any of them inform like the feeling and tone of the music you were making?
We watched Jennifer's Body is the title of a track on the album.
I like how that has had like a full cycle, Jennifer's Body, in the fact that it was originally a song title that informed the title of the movie, because it's a whole song off of Live Through This.
I didn't know it was that way around.
Yeah, because
That's so cool.
Live Through This came out in '94, so that's way predates the film. And I'm sure Diablo Cody was probably a fan, and then Jennifer's Body became the film. And then now it's a song title again via the film. It's gone like kind of full circle. I'm like very obsessed with the visual language of rock music just in general. It's two parts, right? It's the music, but it's the presentation. It's, we think about it as one, and it's so important. And I'm really interested in your self-presentation as of, this recent album cycle and stuff, because with the way you dress and your fashion background, I'm sure comes into play there. And the strength and the presentation of your body is so fresh and new. There's something about it that makes me feel so good that there's young girls that get to look and see you look like that on stage and feel inspired by that, or see it as something very amazing. I was wondering about if you think about what it might mean to younger girls who see a very strong woman like you in a position of like adulation, like they might look up to you, right? You're a musician that they love, and how that might change their lives.
I've like always been like quite like naturally like quite a muscly, like athletic kind of like, I've always kind of like had that physique, but I've always really like shied away from it because it's like, I didn't have anyone that was like
it wasn't
that.
part
And,
of
like,
popular culture in that way.
and I feel like really hopeful for the younger generation now that, there's so much more representation out there. I think what's interesting about like how I'm presenting myself now compared to like how I was presenting myself before, I really hope that also it just like inspires people to just be whoever they want to be, and like you're allowed to explore different characters and like different personalities, and you're allowed to grow and don't get stuck.
All right. You guys have done, from what I understand, a ton of touring, a lot of touring, so much touring between like the last album just blowing up and you touring probably way more than you thought you were going to, and now you're on tour again for Moisturizer. What have you learned from all this touring about like how to do it best for you?
So we're on this current block of touring, America and Canada. It was supposed to be a 6-week tour. Um, and right away we were like, no, 3 weeks is the maximum, but we can do because it should be really fun. And I think after 3 weeks, it does get a little bit like, oh, maybe a break would be nice, you know?
I need my protein shake. I need my creatine. It's at home.
Literally, that was something that we kind of like put in place. We had like a week off in between the 2-3 week blocks, which is just so, you know, nobody wants the wheels to fall off of the cart, so you've got to take care of the cart.
Yeah, sure. You gotta take it to the Jiffy Lube, get it a little oil change, give it a rest in a non-beige hotel. Yeah. What do you guys do to recharge in that week in between?
My partner flew out to LA. We just like hung out there and did not much really, and just enjoyed being together again. And they brought me out. I ran out of contact lenses, so they brought me out contact lenses. I was like, babe, I really need Marmite. I'm missing it. And they brought out Marmite and baked beans. And then the surprise item was crumpets, which are
You're
like a little
you're aggressively British, babe. Do you eat before you go on stage? Or is there like a swimming type policy where you're like no eating for 1 hour prior to stage performance?
I think I've learned now that I need to order food before sound check, eat food after sound check. So that's at like 4:30, and then I'll eat like after the gig at like 11.
What are we eating at 11 p.m.?
Anything.
You're like, I'm starving. I've burned a lot.
Anything that's going. Many types of crisps, many different types of beige food.
Quick left turn. Where do you keep your Grammy, babe?
I have this cabinet that I bought on Portobello Road. It's like this like old Art Deco drinks cabinet. I've got a collection of like, oh, what are they called? They're like these little Japanese dolls. It's just like a cabinet full of dolls, and then there's like a couple Grammys.
Just a few, just like a few dolls from Japan, just a few Grammys. Do you have any big plans for Grammy Week 2026?
I don't know if we get to go. We've been a couple times now, which I just think is just so wild. And it's just, we're from like this little island in the south of England. Sure. The Isle of Wight is very, very far away from Hollywood and Grammy Town. So it's, I think we were just really like going and like looking at all the celebrities. Yeah, it's good fun.
What is Eddie Vedder like?
He's really nice.
He seems so nice.
He's really chill and like really like into music, which I just think is so admirable for like someone that's, you know, been in the business so long.
Love to hear it. I'm a big Pearl Jam fan, so I was just curious. Yeah. Speaking of famous male celebrities, did you have an extremely memorable, you're like, where are you going with this? I could go anywhere, isn't it so scary? I could like, this could be the biggest jump scare ever. Like I could truly just pull something really out of my pocket that is frightening, but it's not. It's did you have any really memorable moments opening for Harry Styles?
No, just like, I don't know, that tour was so eye-opening and so mad. I think before that, I'd never been to a stadium gig, so like never had really experienced an audience like that. You know, like a lot of young girls and a lot of queer people, and just you'd think, oh, like because it's a stadium show, it's going to be really like impersonal, and like there's so many people there, and the sense of community like between all of the fans was just so sweet to see, and I really wish I had that when I was younger.
Did he give you any advice? Was he like, hey, try this? Move your hips like this. Eat this beef
Uh,
jerky before you go on stage. A little protein tip for you.
No,
No?
no,
Okay.
I feel cheated. No, he
Yeah,
never tried to give me any unsolicited advice.
safe
No,
male celebrity, babe.
he
Safe male
was very
celebrity.
chill.
He's not going to mansplain to you how to do your show.
Yeah.
We stand. We stand Harry Styles. You played piano from a young
Mm,
age.
not from a young age.
Oh, okay. Well, that was the
Yeah.
question. See, I didn't know. When did you went to a couple festivals and you were like, you know, it would be so sick if I played piano.
Yeah, I think it just seemed easier to pick up.
Mm.
Um, I was like 17 or 18 when I decided, right, I'm gonna start writing songs on piano. Like, didn't really like know anything about music, but just kind of like muddled my way through it. And then people would be like, wow, like the chords are like so abstract and I was just like I would just like sing like really loudly and like make sure that like the vocal was like very busy.
Like, so you're like, whatever's going on down here, babe, with the piano, don't you worry about that. Pay attention up here.
Yeah.
This singing.
Yeah, I should have, but like now in hindsight, I'm like, damn, I should have like picked up guitar earlier.
I'm sorry if there's a few holes being poked and you're like, I was too cool to go to stadiums. And one is the sequence, and the second is that you were like, I need to learn piano first. These are just this not adding up, you
Yeah.
know? But I respect it.
Yeah.
You have many layers as a person, as we all do.
Like a dream come true. Every day is spent just
What is the wildest thing you've seen on this US tour so far? And what is the best place to party in America?
I went to a high vis show
Oh, they're
in
so
LA
good. They're so good. I'm
last
so sad
week.
I missed it. They're so good.
I feel like I like live under a rock. I only just discovered Turnstile this summer. I just kind of like wandered over to their show at Primavera. I was like, oh, so this is hardcore.
So
And then,
this is
like,
hardcore. Pulp voice. Uh.
and so yeah, I'd never like been to an actual hardcore show, and it was just really cool. There were like three bands supporting, just like the culture like in the crowd is just really cute and fun, and like just people jumping on stage and like diving off is just so silly, and like it's just like an unspoken rule that like that's what you do at
Yeah.
these shows, and I loved to see it.
Hardcore
Fabulous,
shows
so
have the
good.
same energy in a way as like a Harry Styles show. Like kind of like what you're talking about. There's like a real
Mm,
community and camaraderie there, you know? I mean,
mm,
plus the stage diving.
Yeah.
And then your favorite or the best place to party in the United States?
I don't know, the only place that we've kind of like had the chance to go out for like a bit of a party is in Nashville. It was one of our crew members' birthdays, and we made sure to get her drunk on loads of like weird vodka jelly shots. We went out and we hit the strip.
Or you went down to like where all the honky tonks are on Broadway?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did that. We did it.
My two last questions are about, since you just mentioned that you recently just discovered hardcore, and I welcome you, and High Vis is wonderful. There's many other bands. Military Gun is very good. There's so many. What songs are like on your like top rotation right now? Like what are you bumping these days, as the kids say in the parlance of young people?
There's a band called Water From Your Eyes
So good.
that I've been listening to a lot. The song Life Signs is my particular favorite. Oh, what else?
You can take your time.
Cantology 101 by Lambrini Girls and Peaches. Have you
I
heard that?
love it so much. I love Lambrini Girls. They're
I
so
love
good.
Lambrini Girls. Yeah, that's what was good about the Eddie Vedder Festival as well, was like Lambrini Girls were there.
Yeah.
And also Hivers were there too. We got to hang out backstage and it was awesome.
Okay, all right. All right, Rhian, you don't have to rub it in. I missed that one too. This was super fun. I hope it wasn't too painful. I didn't learn anything about protein, so that was sad for me, but otherwise I had a great time.
Thank you so much for making it very unpainful.